Howdy everyone, I'm Nido King, and we're continuing our exploration of the Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom DLC. This is the second puzzle mission, and this is my second take of it. The first take actually went about the same as this, except I wasted one of the exploding barrels right at the end, and wasn't able to complete the level. So if I can just take out these guys... There's not really a whole lot of challenge in the combat here, since the entire purpose of it is to focus on solving the puzzles. There's still an archer up here shooting at us. I don't want that. But I can't do a stealth kill because he's already in combat mode, so I'll just knock him down there for the Majin to take care of.
Fly away!
Now, there are 2 kegs over on this side of the room, and 2 rocks in this little alcove here that I need to blow up. So you can't waste either barrel. You can really do them in either order, but this one is the farther rock from where you get the barrels, so I figured I'd just carry the nearby keg over to it, and I'll get the other one later. Before I can take care of the rest of that half of the room, I need to come over and deal with the other side of the room. Need to jump down, and then climb back up so that I can get to this terminal. And careful not to land on top of it, because that would probably be pretty painful. That activates one of the remaining bridges. One was powered up when I started the level, but the other 2 I'm going to need to power up, and that's what all this maneuvering is about. Also, this is the only way I can get to this scarecrow. So now that that's dealt with, I can get all the way to the end of this path and grab the other exploding keg, which needs to come with me to the far corner of the room so that I can blow up that other rock. It's an unfortunately slow process, which is why I try to carry each barrel as little distance as possible. I don't know whether that's necessarily optimal, or whether just tossing one right down onto the rock below it, and then carrying this one all the way to the far end of the path would be faster. Probably comes out to about the same in the end. But yeah, I tried to walk straight ahead from here and throw it to that rock that was visible down below. It doesn't go nearly that far. So now I've taken care of both of the rocks, which allows me to get to the 2 terminals that I'll need to activate the final bridge. And trying to fight this Shadow Warrior just isn't worth the time. I'm still trying to complete the mission quickly enough to get that A rank. And while I'm pretty sure I've got the best path here, it's also entirely possible that I messed up somewhere along the way. But that's a pretty good sign. And frankly, there's no reason to deal with this Shadow Warrior anymore. As long as he doesn't knock me off the ladder while I'm climbing up. I just need to get to the last bridge. And all of the ladders are currently out of reach, so I have to go all the way back to the start, run up the ramp here, and now I can get to the top of the bridge. And all that just so that I can get to that final scarecrow. But hey, it worked, and I even got an S rank, and the Engineer's Nut, which is the wristband of the Engineer set. And so, level 3. This one is really tricky. We got a fight to start with. I was kinda hoping to run past these guys without having to stop and fight them, but then I remembered that I actually need the Majin's help getting up the far side, so I really do have to defeat them. He's not going to be able to run past. So you can see the first scarecrow inside there where the fire fruit was. And eventually I will be able to get up onto the ledge. There's a path over there, and the second scarecrow is where the dark eye was previously. So I don't need to open the door to block its line of sight or anything. Alright, let's try not to attract that guy's attention. And there was a gap I could drop through up here, but there's a box on top of it that I'll have to blow up in order to get to it. So let's see if I can get that door open. Alright, there's a dog here. It's gonna take way too long to fight this thing normally.
Watch my sparkle!
In my opinion, that's really the only way to deal with dogs. So let's head into the little storeroom here. And we can climb up the ledges on this side, where we find a couple of bombs, and that's it. Doesn't appear to be anything on the far side of the room, so I'll just toss these down where they'll be handy. Yeah, nothing else over there. So let me head back to the other side of the door there. I need to get it open so I can get the Majin through, which was a big part of the room when we came here in the main game. I can't really use the bomb up here, because I need the Majin to light it for me. And there's the last scarecrow up top, and there's a ladder right there, which I don't seem to be able to grab in midair. Well, the same lever is here to open the door. And now we can get the Majin over to where we need a source of fire. The problem is he can't navigate this staircase. He's just gonna kinda stand somewhere at the bottom of it. So blowing up that crate is gonna be a tricky task. Yeah, I'll need to get his attention so we can light the bomb. You know what? Let's deal with this guy first. And we'll put the bomb at a safe distance so it doesn't explode prematurely.
Fly away!
Alright, so that's that guy dealt with. Now I can break my way through that crate up there. You've really got to run for this one. Alright, the damage is irrelevant. I managed to break open this hole in the ceiling. So I can get to the top of the warehouse over here, but there's still nothing up on this ledge. And there's a wooden wall over there, and one bomb that I can use to get through it. We've seen before, the Majin can blow his fire breath through the gap here, and that's good enough. So now I can get to the ladder that leads up to the top part of the room, and there's one more door that I'm going to have to blow up in order to get to the last scarecrow. So we'll come around this way. There's one bomb up over there where a treasure chest used to be, and from the top of the door, it's possible to jump into this little pen where the scarecrow is and finally break the first one. Then I'll just need to grab one of those bombs so I can blow up that final door. Doesn't seem to be any way to get the bomb to the door from here. So it's gonna be a frantic dash from the other side of this wooden gate. Yeah, somehow I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, it seems like it might be possible to stand on the far side of that other fence and get him to ignite it from there, but there's no solid place to stand. On the bright side, I don't need a bomb to take care of these crates. He can just barely reach them from below. And that's the second scarecrow. This one's really easy to get. But the third one is just tough. And then of course I fell on the wrong side. So you can see how long I spent just messing around in this room, trying to find some other way to open that wooden panel. I just barely can't get the bomb close enough. So I didn't even manage to solve this puzzle. But the fourth one is unlocked, so why not just skip ahead? Yeah, not nearly stealthy enough to take care of the enemies the easy way. But the fights, as always, are just here to waste your time. I got a finishing move saved up, so I want to try to use it. That guy's already dead. Kind of a shame there's no experience in DLC mode. But let's look around and see if I can find any of the scarecrows here. We've got some ice pillars that I'll be able to blow up with bombs. The room ends quite abruptly over this direction. And we've got that door, which is locked. Previously we had to climb up to the side of it to get it to open. And there's an upper ledge that we need the Majin's help to get to. Clearly, having to do this more than once is not going to give me an A rank. We got another pillar over there to blow up, and one there, which is blocking a scarecrow. And hello, enemy. Well, you can be accommodating and let me knock you off the ledge, or I suppose I could always just ignore him. I've got the bomb, so let's find something to blow up. Something hopefully where I don't have to deal with any enemies or jumping puzzles or anything like that. Originally in this room I think there was a column over here. That's gone. So, off to the ledge on this side, there was something to blow up. Oh, well there's one of the statues. This one at least I know how to deal with. Oh, there we go. The enemy finally made his way down. And with the pools of darkness frozen, I can destroy the first scarecrow.
Go away.
And that guy's dealt with, so now we can go ahead and just blow up this pillar. Fire in the hole. And that'll take us directly to another scarecrow, but I can't reach the ladder, so we're actually going to need to do the old-style high jump here.
Okay, I wait here.
Alright, halfway done. Now let's go deal with that little room. I remember how to get in. I need to climb on the Majin's back over near this ledge. He'll find me eventually. This is one of the big tricks to this room, is doing everything in the proper order so the Majin doesn't have to spend a lot of time running from end to end of the room. Now, I definitely don't want to forget to pull the lever. And now we'll just deal with the enemy. I've gotten pretty good at that after all that time in stealth mode. So now we can climb up to the top and figure out what to do about the scarecrow, which is in the same position it was the first time we came into the room. Problem is, there's no ladder for getting up to it. And I realize at this point that I can't complete the level anymore. It's just done. And that's not exactly what I wanted to do either. I don't think there are even enough explosives left in the mission for me to handle it. And there's no way to reclose the door. So, while I can mess around with a few other things here, the mission is impossible at this point. And I'll take a look around up top, but I don't think I've even got one explosive left to reach that final scarecrow behind the pillar. I've blown up everything I had. So, let's restart this thing. And I'll jump ahead to the attempt where I actually managed to complete it and get the A rank. The other takes just really don't add anything to the experience at this point. So, dealing with this little room is the first thing that I want to do, since I start right next to it. And ideally, I want to be able to stealth kill this enemy. That saves me a whole lot of time, because I don't have to deal with the Majin getting into a fight with it.
Okay, I wait here.
Now I need to be standing on top of this door when I open it. And you only get one chance at this jump, so make it count. Next up, I can grab this bomb and take it with me. All the way up to the top. It's just to save me a little bit of a trip. Not even technically all that important, I don't think. All I gotta do is actually get the bomb lit. And break this column by throwing the bomb just as it's about to explode. I think I can still make it if I throw it early, but I don't want to take the chance. So that's 2 scarecrows. And frankly, I took a bit of a roundabout route here. I don't need to do this. But I hadn't planned all that well ahead, so I went ahead and blew up this column extraneously, which just leads to another bomb and an exploding keg that I'm never going to use. This bomb is enough to blow up the final pillar that we need to deal with. And rather than igniting it and waiting for it to explode, I'll just have the Majin blow it up where it is. And set myself on fire. Silly me. But that means that he's pretty much right where he needs to be for me to jump up to the ladder. And the order of taking out the scarecrows is actually relevant for this final part. Because if you remember, there are all these enemies to fight, but if I can just convince the Majin to freeze the pool of darkness over here, then I can get inside and awkwardly swing mainly the enemies, but if I do manage to hit the scarecrow a couple times, mission complete. And even with as many things as I didn't need to do, I get the S rank and I get the Engineer's Wrench, which is my first weapon upgrade. So with all that done, I'll take the end of the video to look at some of the upgrades that I've gotten from the DLC so far, and we'll revisit it later to take on the battle missions once I've unlocked the last one of those. So the only weapon upgrade I've got is the Engineer's Wrench, which gives me the Soul Absorption power. And for some reason, the game doesn't tell you what that does. Well, I guess at some point we'll figure it out. Meanwhile, that's gonna be it for this video.
Ishtab likes sparkle things.
Yeah, he's got nothing new to say, so I'll see you next time for some item roundup.